out of that and it failed miserably.
No, that was actually something completely different. That was VR.
Oh.
Yeah. So many stupid Wizard games out there.
Damn, yeah, really, this is crazy. Overwatch star Kephrii posted a video last week smugly proclaiming that the Overwatch community, specifically pros, need to be better and more mature. Less than a day later, a series of DMs from him to teenage girls who were not his wife leaked out online.
Yeesh.
I'll let you hazard a guess as to what the theme of those DMs were.
Fucking
great.
owned.
Yikes.
That sucks.
Yikes.
You dumbass.
You geeks are so
Yikes.
gullible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what else to say about that. You're just a fucking dumbass.
That's grim.
That's unfortunate. Well, yeah, it's not good.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Now he's just a pro streamer. He's not on any teams, is he?
I think he was formerly on a pro team. Now he's a streamer.
Okay.
But I mean, like, you know, I think here's what's interesting, because, you know, and I have had a lot of people asking me about, you know, the Louis C.K. situation, because, you know,
all over the place. It's everyone now. George Takei just got included in something.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey. So you know, and here's the thing. I've defended a lot of difficult humor. And I'm, of course, a big fan of comedians. You know, I was a big fan of Louis C.K. as well. And obviously, I think, you know, a subject like this is, first of all, really divisive. And when it's someone that you like or that you have respect for, I think you have a tendency to want to cut them a break.
Yep.
Or you want to
we just talked about that earlier with game developers.
Let them off the hook.
Yep.
And so, you know, yeah, I think that's got to travel, you know, travel down to all of our idols and icons. And you know, the Louis C.K. has been particularly difficult. Here's I do want to dig a few nuggets out of here, because it is so messy and so again, like,
more, and news is still coming out.
divisive.
We're still trying to figure out what's going on.
Again, so a couple of things. First of all, I think that the conversation and the culture of silence that has existed around sexual harassment and sexual assault breaking is one of the best things to happen in, like, the last, like, year, you know, like year or two,
especially considering some of the other shit that's been happening.
Yeah, and I, you know, I think that that it's good to talk about, and that it's necessary to talk about, and that, you know, a lot of feelings get dredged up here, but, you know, specifically to Louis C.K., you know, I think that it's good that he admitted it, and, you know, obviously, you know, apologies don't mean much, but what really sat very poorly with me was for how long women's careers got destroyed trying to talk about it before this.
Oh, absolutely.
And that, you know, somehow we needed the context of, you know, a Harvey Weinstein and a Kevin Spacey to somehow come to a point where we could talk about this. Because here's the thing, I've known this for years. Like, I've known that story for years, that he's jerked off in front of female comics. Like, that, I heard Jen Kirkman tell that story 2 years ago. And again, because he's a comedian, because he's also kind of a private citizen, because he makes jokes about it, you kind of want to cut him some slack. Like, well, who is he to be some kind of moral authority? Well, he's the father of 2 girls.
Yeah, 2 daughters.
That's the truth. And, like, he's a father, and you know, it's one thing to sit here and say, well, he should have known better, and you know, to do all of this moralizing. That's not what I'm trying to say. I think you know, the positive that I'm trying to drag out of it is that, you know, it's something that is out in the open, and unlike someone like a Bill Cosby, he's not trying to continually bury it and continue to deny it, and, you know, fucking what Roy Moore is doing. You know what I mean?
And here's the thing that I'm, like, realizing as we see more and more names coming out, like, as this culture of silence, as you put it, is breaking down.
Yeah,
guys, just be prepared because it's going to go further than you know, and especially now as it's like starting to tip into the music industry.
Everywhere.
You think this shit's bad in Hollywood?
It's not even...
The music industry is horrifying.
Yeah, it's not even the music industry either. I just saw this morning, I think someone from Marvel, from the comics proper, was just suspended because of allegations.
Dude,
as well.
the guy who was writing like Spider-Man for years, like he was like known for being sexist and being awful to the women who worked at Marvel.
Right.
And like it's everywhere.
Yeah,
and as this culture of silence breaks down, there's gonna be a lot of names of people you like.
Yeah.
That you're gonna have to reconcile this.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I think that there's another really important aspect to this too, and that is as guys self-reflection and really looking at our own behavior and really looking at it very critically and going, well, like, shit, is that shit that I do? Mm-hmm. Like, is that because you know, like there is this like egged on mentality that some people get, or some people want to try to use as a shield, that I don't think is a justification for anything. But you know, like I think that on an individual level, like we all have to kind of look at ourselves and our own actions and our own behavior and go, am I culpable in this in any way? Like, was I, you know, not just of silence, or not just complicit in silence or not speaking up or not saying anything, but what kind of active damage have I done in this area? You know what I mean? And, you know, it's definitely made me reflect on, you know, my relationship with, you know, ex-girlfriends and you know, stuff like that make me go, well, fuck, dude, you know, like this is so difficult to navigate and complicated, but the real fact of the matter is that we need to be conscious of how our actions affect other people, about how our words, what we point out, make other people feel, and if they feel uncomfortable, to be open to that, and to if someone says, like, that shit is making me uncomfortable, to not like shut them down, or to
fucking listen.
To not exactly, to just listen to them and be a human being, and you know, because I feel like a lot of this could have been prevented by everyone just going like, dude, this is fucked up. Like people saying shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in the moment, and it being okay to say that shit.
Yeah. And you know, this is kind of what
I'm not feeling like they're gonna, I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting you off, but feeling like they're not gonna be fired because of it. Like that's the problem,
that's a big thing.
Yeah, exactly. And there is that I recognize that there's that power dynamic, and especially in the Louis C.K. thing, where they're like, well, this is like the biggest comedian in the country. I don't know if he was at that time, but like he's still for fucking 15 years he's been an up and comer and a headliner. So big. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, if you're worried that your reaction to a weird situation may cost you your job, that is, I think, that discussion is also worth having.
And it's not like it's gotten, you know, it's nowhere near okay yet. Like we haven't gotten to the point where things are getting like, but things are starting to improve. I've noticed, especially when we were at Youmacon this year, when someone says something fucked up to a female cosplayer, other people are willing to call them out on it now.
Yeah.
And I have not seen, like when I first started going to Youmacon in like 06, 07, in that era, no one did that.
That's true. I mean, it is, I think in some ways getting a little bit better, especially with, you know, conversations like this taking place. You're right. I do see that a lot more where you know, like it's like Mark Maron said in one of his most recent stand-up specials. He's like, you know, the next 4 years may take, you know, the simple courage of saying really seemingly easy shit, like, you know, you still can't do that, right? Like,
right.
There's, you know, like that may seem like a small thing, you know,
it can shake some people though.
Yeah, like, yeah. And that's the thing, to when we talk about a culture of silence, it's not to like see something truly fucked up, you know, like someone getting stabbed and not saying anything.
You're probably going to say something.
That's obvious.
Yeah.
See, but it's these little I hate that word, like microaggressions, but these little transgressions that people do that go unchallenged.
Look, the little things are absolutely important. You know, a few things that I want to add on to both of you. Know, it's just as heartbreaking when you see stuff like this happening, that even the people who are beside it, who the best example that I have is Quentin Tarantino, who was, you know, right there with Harvey Weinstein the entire time, right? He came out and he's like, you know what? I could have stopped it. Like, at some point, I should have said something because, of course, I had heard the stories too.
Right.
And he didn't. So, while he may not be as guilty as Harvey Weinstein was, he still helped contribute to it. And sometime last year, I remember we covered this story here on the show too about it was on Twitter. I forget what the guy's name was, but it was part of some site, and he got accused of sexual harassment too because he would constantly propositioning women. And at first he was denying because he's like, look, I was just offering and just asking. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until enough people pointed out, like, with your position, just asking is enough because since you're the boss, nobody wants to say no.
Right.
The fact that you are in a power above them automatically makes it so that it's fucked up, man. And sometimes that's something that we ourselves have to look at. If you know a friend, or if you have a feeling from a friend who's doing stuff like this and you're not saying anything, even though you're not the problem, you are letting the problem go unchecked.
Yep. And I mean, you know, Poochie in our chat saying, like, what planet is Nate on? This is decades old in Hollywood. It'll never change. I'm not talking about the problem in Hollywood. And quite frankly, it's not like, and I guess this is a little bit of a not in my backyard mentality, but I don't really give a shit about what goes on in Hollywood. I'm talking about this on a broader societal spectrum. And when I say, you know, we've all got to look at it ourselves, I'm talking on an individual level.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, this has nothing, I mean, this has everything to do with any industry. It doesn't matter.
It's rape culture, period. And you're right, it's nothing new.
Yeah, the point is that, you know...
But it getting brought to the surface via Hollywood is what makes it on everybody's radar.
Yeah.
I think if even one more guy each day stops and thinks before they make an action,
yeah, and
then
Poochie,
it's a good thing.
Poochie Woochie's pointing out that, you know, Bob Saget did all kinds of stuff and, you know, nothing ever happened to him. He's still an icon. But people nowadays, stuff is happening. What does Louis C.K. have now?
I mean,
Kevin Spacey got fired off of House of Cards.
Not only that, there's a movie that is past post-production that Kevin Spacey is starring in that they're removing him from.
Yeah, that seems like whitewashing over the problem, though.
I would say probably.
That seems like trying to whitewash the fucking problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely taking the stance of just like, what he did is awful and we're not gonna have anything to do with it. Like, it's like that's like the PC thing to say, I think, but you're right, it doesn't really address like what he did in any way.
He still collected paychecks off of that movie. He still got paid for his performance. He'll probably get cut out of residuals because he's cut out of the film, but his acting performance went to that. He got a performance fee out of that. He got paid.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. I feel like, you know,
it's not enough.
You can't
but there
try
are more
to. You can't
consequences
try to take.
now.
But you can't try to like. But Hollywood as an industry can't try to. I mean, like, I feel like in some ways they're trying to take an eraser and get rid of the problem, so we stop talking about it.
The fuck, Poochie? No one's saying that. Oh, we gotta behave, but rich people get away with it.
What? We didn't say that.
You're not listening.
What are you
Poochie.
talking about?
Huh?
Do you watch anime?
Bitch, call the show. I'd love to hear what the fuck you're trying to justify.
I think you're misunderstanding a little bit.
I really do. But yeah, the whole thing is ugly, and again, it's not just Hollywood.
It's everywhere.
The Overwatch coach that just got
from the San Francisco Shock.
Yep, the energy esports coach.
You know, and dude, our own industry, our own pastime. It's if you want to tell me that sexism does not exist in the video game industry, I'm gonna call bullshit.
No,
I'm gonna call bullshit.
I don't.
Sorry.
I would love to see who wants to argue that.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah,
I have about 20 Gamergate friends who will promise you that it does not exist in this culture.
Oh, good.
So.
Oh, of course, yeah, because it's about games journalism, right?
Yes, thank you. Someone gets it.
Team Liquid coach for Overwatch and League of Legends, Dennis Internet Hulk Hawelka,